Hey, Tam fam, welcome back to Lipstick and Combat Boots. Yes, so listen, I've got Misha here with me again today because we've been talking about something all week. So I said, you might as well come back on the podcast and talk to me or talk with me about it on there. So it was the slap heard round the world. It was the slap that was seen around the world. It is the slap that will forever be associated with the Oscar Awards, right? Will Smith and Chris Rock. So, so here's the thing. I didn't watch the Oscars. I think I was at church. I didn't watch the Oscars. But, of course, the moment it happened, everybody started posting about it and commenting about it and texting about it. So still talking about it. And so of course we were all made aware of it. I for some reason I couldn't look at it. Like I would see it online and I would just kind of I would read, but I would kind of scroll past it. I don't know why. Like I didn't want to see it. Like I didn't want to see this. And so I was in bed with my husband and I'm listening to him watch it. And he's like, "Have you seen this?" And I'm like, "No." And so I watched it and I said, "I think this is fake." I think it's fake for a couple of reasons. Like we lived in LA for like 15 years. So something that I know that a lot of people know, it's not just because I lived in LA, but a lot of people know that there's this delay between live telecast and what we see for things such as this, right? The fact that they were able to censor Will cussing, right? They had enough time to censor that, but they couldn't censor the video feed of the slap. Made me feel like we're seeing this because they want us to see this. So I'm like, yeah, they want us to see this because they could have gotten rid of this. And so that made me feel like this isn't real. Okay. It was a few other reasons I was like, nah, this, because I said there was no audible, like I didn't hear anything. Nobody, said anything. Nobody. Will walked up, smacked, walked back, sat down. Nothing was said. So I said, this is not real. Right. Then he goes up and he accepts his Oscar and his speech and all of that stuff. And I'm like, yo, this is real.
He slapped him.
He slapped as my mother would say, he slapped the hot stew. And so I'm just like, I don't know how I feel. And that's why I haven't said anything on social media about it. I haven't said anything because I don't know how I feel. And at any given time, I could feel differently. Like I pivot.
Back and forth.
I'm back and forth. Yes, I'm back and forth. And so wasn't that Aaliyah back, forth and forth?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm back and forth. And so today, as I talk with Misha, I'll probably play devil's advocate, a little bit. But I can see on one hand why Will did what he did. I can see why it's wrong. I can see why it might be right. And another reason I thought it was fake is because Chris Rock did nothing.
Absolutely not.
But that could speak of just his total professionalism. It could literally just speak to that. But there was, there was so much going on. So what do you think about this whole thing, Misha?
I think he was right in trying to defend his wife, for sure.
Okay.
But he just wrong place. Time and place for everything. Okay. Especially when you're Will Smith.
Now, you said that, and I said this to you, growing up in black families, we were always told by our parents, our moms specifically, now I'm going to take you out this house. We're going to go to this mall, or we're going to go to this grocery store, we're going to go to this restaurant. If you act a fool on me in this restaurant, that's where I'm going to beat your behind, in this restaurant. And so we just kind of come up with the idea that where you act a fool is where I'm going to act a fool with you. So to say Will should have waited till he got him backstage or, till after the fact, you feel like it just wasn't the right time or place.
It wasn't. You on national television. First of all, excuse my language for anybody who won't hear not language, but excuse what I'm about to say. But all these white people.
Yeah.
And we haven't always been invited to the Oscars. We haven't always been.
Can't take us nowhere.
I just think it was a better way to do it. That's all.
There's
two ways to skin a cat, and of course you need to protect your wife because of the backstory, but of course you need to protect yourself too. You need to also protect what you got going on.
Listen, I get that, but here's what I think a lot of women that were agreeing with Will probably felt like. He was willing to sacrifice himself and his career. Like, maybe he was clear on what the repercussions were going to be. But what the most important thing to him was to let his wife know she was there for him. Or he was there for her, I'm sorry. Because I talk to wives every day whose husbands won't stand up to their mama, daddy, or siblings for them, let alone smack the taste out of somebody's mouth on primetime television. So for women that have had to live in that space, what Will did, how he did it, when he did it, and what he was willing to sacrifice to be able to do it speaks volumes for them. Especially women that have been mishandled, talked to any kind of way, disrespected, and had a husband that just kind of sat on the sidelines and let it happen or tried to explain it away.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. But still.
Okay.
Still, I think, so this is me. And I think I said this to you earlier. He risked it all for her. I also think she shouldn't have let him risk it all.
Okay.
I think there should have been some type of covering there. Like, hey, from what I've seen, if it's true, a lot of stuff that he's doing is on pause. They're doing a meeting or something about taking his Oscar back.
But he doing the red table. That ain't on pause. We gonna get that red table.
That's his wife's show. But I just feel like, all right, cool. Now, I don't think that he. I don't think there's nothing wrong with defending your wife. Of course, defend your wife. But because of what the situation was, she should have been like, hey, not here. Like, you shouldn't have been willing to let him risk it all and sit there and laugh.
Okay, because the verbiage you had used with me when we talked about it last week was you felt that she didn't cover him.
Yeah, I feel.
And I said that I feel like, as a wife of almost 23 years, I feel like covering looks different depending on what's going on, when, where, what has happened. And we were talking about how in Will Smith's book, he was saying one of his biggest regrets is not standing up and defending the women in his life, right? So it's plausible that she may have felt, as a wife that knows this about him, probably to the 100th degree. We're just reading this little bitty excerpt in a book, but she's probably watched him feel a way about this. Maybe for her in that moment, covering him was allowing him the freedom to do what he felt like he needed to do to defend her and not make him feel stupid or silly about it. Like, all right, now this time you stood up. Right? You did it. You did it. This time you didn't back down. This time you stood your ground, right? Like, applause. That could have been because we don't have any backstory. Because we don't have any backstory, or our backstory is very limited. Right. We don't know what covering looked like for him in that moment. It could have been somebody to say, I got your back while you stand up. Maybe Will was defending his honor as much as he was defending hers because he thinks of himself as having been a coward. So it's like, I'm gonna stand over here on the sideline while you whip his tail and I'm gonna clap. I got you. I'm your cheerleader.
I don't think that's covering though.
Okay.
I don't think that's covering because maybe this is a little extreme, but I'm not gonna watch you jump off a ledge either. Because I want to feel brave. I'm not gonna watch you jump off this ledge and see if you make it to the bottom. Gotcha. Like, I feel like that's you letting them. I guess for me, in my opinion, that's what covering would have looked like. Like, hey, not now, not here, I'm not gonna let you do this to yourself on national television.
Now, for the record, I do not think Will Smith's career is over.
No, it's not over, but still, he put a dent or a taint on his reputation.
Okay, so here's what I think about it. I think the people that are backing away from him because the incident involved physical violence, I think they have to back away right now. Just for the sake of not looking like they condone it. But Black America is still going to support Will Smith.
Yeah, absolutely.
And white America does not care because Chris Rock is not white. And so he didn't smack, he didn't smack Jim Carrey. He didn't smack, nobody white. Right. Now his career would probably be over if he had slapped somebody white. Let's just be honest. Probably. He slapped Chris Rock. Yep. So white Hollywood, if the black audience still supports Will Smith, then Will Smith will still be a moneymaker in Hollywood. And white Hollywood will not turn away the Will Smith dollar. They just won't. The only way they're going to turn away the Will Smith dollar is if people stop supporting Will Smith. And Black America will probably keep supporting Will Smith.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And
so I think right now it's popular to make a stand to say, yeah, we don't condone what you did. Let's hold up for a minute. But I think he's going to recover just fine.
He probably will.
Now, Chris Rock, his pride might not recover so much.
I think he all right. I seen the video of him joking at one of his shows about it.
But that's what he does best.
You're right. He's a comedian. So that doesn't count.
I mean, like what we all do professionally, we can do even in the worst of circumstances.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I have a question then.
Okay.
So if this was something he would have done, like I'm unapologetic about it, then why did you get up there and apologize?
Did he say he was unapologetic?
No, I'm saying like if just to sum up going off what you said, like he's like, I'm doing this for my wife, like I'm standing up, like, but you got up and apologized. So are you apologizing for defending your wife? Are you apologizing?
But he didn't apologize to Chris then. He apologized. No, not on stage.
No, not on stage, but he released a statement apologizing.
I mean, yeah, because he probably sat back and was like,
See, like, so that's what I'm saying right there. So it's not that wasn't the right move.
Okay, I feel like right move versus approved move.
He knew it was like if you went to apologize, something about what you did wasn't right.
Very few people, and I've referenced this man so much on here, but very few people are Kanye West. Very few people are gonna dig their feet into the dirt and say right, wrong, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. This is what I did, and this is where I am staying. I'm gonna stay with it, y'all. This is live, and my kid is calling me, so I'm texting him. Yeah, I'm a mommy. I'm a mother first. Yes,
that's right.
So, but yeah, so very few people are Kanye West, and would be like, no, I said it, I meant it, and I see that it was wrong, but so what? Dude shouldn't have been talking reckless. I think Will Smith understands in the big scheme of things that it wasn't looked at as a good idea. So he's honoring the fact that I understand that other people are taken aback by this, and for that I apologize. What do you think? You think he's just like, no, I was wrong. I was so wrong.
I think he was under the influence of Jezebel. That's what I think because
Jada Bell. It was Jada Bell.
I think because, like you said, he laughed initially.
Yeah.
He thought like he was in the moment. Like, oh, we joking. Okay, he sees her reaction. He goes and does what he does. First of all, he didn't look bad to me when he went up there. Now, the cussing part, I was like, oh, okay, this is real. That's when I was convinced.
But even in that, he just don't come off hard. It was still lightweight corny. But, okay, let's talk about this.
That baby tried.
Let's talk about this. So, Jada has always been admittedly, I don't want to use the word in love because she's somebody else's wife, but highly fond of Tupac. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at August, he got a little hood in him. I don't know who else she's ever been involved with, but what it does feel like is that she married a man that is the flip side of probably what she's really attracted to. Well, I don't want to say really attracted to, because I think that a lot of us can have a type. Mm-hmm. And you can end up falling in love with somebody that's not necessarily your type, and they're good and you're happy and all of that. They may not have certain qualities that you're naturally drawn to, but you are in love with them. You are attracted to them and all that. Right. But I do think there's something about her that she's attracted to a hood dude. Mm. Now, here's the question.
That's the question.
WWTD, what would Tupac do? Listen, that's the question. If Tupac had been sitting there with Jada, right? If Tupac had been sitting there with Jada, and Jada had been going through about her alopecia and, you know, all of this, and Chris gets up and says this, what would Tupac do? Do you think he would have giggled and talked to Chris Rock later?
I think Tupac wouldn't have giggled at all. I don't know if he would have went up to the stage, though.
You don't?
I don't know.
You don't think Tupac would have went up to the stage?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I can't say.
I think in that moment, Will asked himself,
what would Tupac
do? I think Will said, what would Tupac do? And that's what I have to do.
Well, I hope not.
Because I think he had looked at himself as weak, and probably Jada had looked at Will as weak in moments. And I think he was just trying to redeem himself. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying, but I will say that I think what people need to learn is you got to watch your mouth.
You do have to do that.
You cannot just say, and you don't get to say what is offensive or bothersome to somebody else. You don't get to say what offends me. I tell you what offends me. Yeah. Right? And so it's easy for somebody that a statement or a joke was not directed to say, oh, it wasn't that bad. I don't think it was, you know, that I can't tell you how she felt about it. Now, I can, like I said, I had alopecia. I suffered from it twice. One time I had a big, and it literally came overnight. I had laid on a couch and I really thought, I was like, Lord, somebody didn't clean this couch and did something to my hair that fell out. It was like a bald pat, like a baby's bottom, like silver dollar size in the back of my head. And it was nothing you could do about it. It was during the era when everybody had the Toni Braxton haircut. So there was no hiding it. Yeah. I've never been like the wig type person. So it was what it was. And it's not a thing about, oh, it'll grow back. Like, you really don't know if it's going to grow back or if it's going to spread. Yeah. So I dealt with that. And then after my youngest child, I dealt with like receding right here. And so I get the whole alopecia thing. But for me, it wasn't enough that I would have wanted Gerald to go act a fool. But maybe for Jada, maybe, you know, that was just the straw that broke the camel's back for her. Here's another thing. I think that the reason a lot of us are taken back and a little like, yo, I can't believe this or whatever is because we've watched Will Smith for 3 decades. But the other Sunday, we just met him. I feel like Will Smith.
Did we?
I feel like Will Smith has had a polished persona for years and years and years in Hollywood. With the Smith family, you've only known what they've wanted you to know. The only reason we know about August is because
he put it out there.
Little boy got whipped. Like Jada had him sprung and he just had to talk about it. Because other than that, you didn't hear Jada sitting up talking about August. You didn't hear Will. We never would have known if August hadn't come out talking about it. So the Smith family has been very good at letting us see the only thing they want us to see.
We know they swingers though. But
we've heard it. Have we ever seen them swing?
No, we never seen it.
We've heard it. We've heard they have an open marriage, but you know.
They kind of confirmed it, though, on that one talk show.
Their stuff is, the way they say stuff is very vague and very like, maybe they meant this or maybe they meant that. And they have a lot of open-ended statements, you know, where it's like, well, no, that's not what I said. What I said was, you know.
Right.
So, because even on the Red Table Talk, when they were talking about August, and everybody was like, oh, Will, you know, Will looks so pitiful. And I said, no, I think Will was pissed. And not because she cheated, or she doesn't look at it as cheating, because she said she did not feel like it was an indiscretion. She said, I don't feel like it was an indiscretion. That's a whole different situation. But I feel like Will was like, yo, we have lived this lifestyle. If this is their lifestyle, we have lived this lifestyle for decades. We have managed to keep a tight lid on it. Little boy done fell in love. He running his mouth. You fooled around with this kid that you can't control, and now he done blew up the spot. I feel like that's how Will.
Now he got to talk about it on there.
And now I got to talk about it. You know, while she's saying stuff like, I just wanted to feel good. I hadn't felt good in so long. Let me tell y'all something. My womblads. Let me tell y'all something. Gerald Haddon loves me, and I love Gerald. If I sat across from him and said something like that, I don't know what he would do. I don't know what I would do. That just makes no sense to me. But I just want to feel good, right? So I just feel like Will was dealing with so many things that the smack heard around the world was not because of what Chris Rock said. Chris Rock just happened to be the person there that got smacked. I think it could have been. I think this could have popped off at an after party. I think that day Will Smith was on the edge, and it could have been anybody.
He could have been waiting on him to say something because of the past experiences. That's not his first time coming for Jada.
True.
So that might could have been like, if he say something this time.
And then I just felt a kind of way because I'm like, he didn't even punch him. He open hand smack. Like, that's pimp stuff.
Disrespectful.
That's pimp stuff.
Absolutely.
Open hand smack. And it's like,
smack me on national television.
And Chris, you could tell if you watch afterwards that he was really shaken.
Yeah. He's bothered by that. I would be too.
I felt a little sorry for Chris.
If that was anybody else, they would have been fighting on national television. That was Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, or any other.
Would he have done it to anybody else?
Probably not. He knows Chris. They're friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably not.
And then I'm telling you, I'm thrown by the fact that we actually saw this because of this delay. They could have.
It does seem weird.
Because I've even felt that way about the Solange and Jay-Z thing in the elevator. Yeah. Beyonce done had whole babies and situations and done did whole albums that used 500 people. And we didn't hear a peep, but we got a full video of Solange and Jay-Z in an elevator right before they come out with an album to promote infidelity and marital issues and family problems. I don't know. But then I'm a lightweight conspiracy theorist. Don't mind me over here.
With Beyonce, you never know though. Maybe it was leaked. But I think they know how to they got good PR. They know how to cover. Like
I think Beyonce, first of all, I'm a conspiracy theorist. So, again, don't mind me. If I were in the elevator video room and I had a decision to make, and I'm like, I've got this video. I'm going to release it. Or I'm going to make a whole lot of money off of it. So somebody get me to Beyonce's people so I can let them know, here's what I have.
Right. Okay. I see where you're going.
At the very least, I would have sold it to TMZ.
Yeah. Who released it?
I think it was just released. It was just put out there.
Okay.
And that doesn't make sense to me. There was too much money to be made.
That's true.
Off of that.
So you saying they wanted it out there?
I'm saying it got out there because they wanted it out there. Because they had enough money to stop it. And if my job is to sit and watch people ride an elevator all day, I need some money.
Maybe they sold it to somebody that put it out there. I'm just just tossing ideas. I don't know. You could. Okay. You're right though. I think she could have stopped it if she wanted to. That's what I'm saying. Because Beyonce don't let nothing go. Nothing she don't want you to know. You don't know.
Because here's the thing, Lemonade was coming out, or they were getting ready to start Lemonade or whatever. But up to that point, nobody had any idea that Beyonce and Jay-Z had any type of marital issues. They created the scenario of the marriage issues, and then they did an album to address it. Nobody was sitting around talking about, I think Jay-Z and Beyonce might be having a little trouble. Nobody was saying nothing. Yeah. There was no Jay-Z and Beyonce marriage issues conversations until they created marriage issue conversations, and then they did the record.
They figured out a way to monetize their.
Where I went to the tour and a cup of lemonade was $17. This was big business.
You bought it?
No, I didn't. I didn't buy it, but it was a lot of money.
Good lemonade.
It was regular. I guarantee you, it was regular. Jeez. But my thing is that. I'm not fully understanding why what happened. I'm not fully understanding why we were allowed to see what happened. That's definitely a question. There have been things that happened at award shows and other things where it never got to the public because of the delay and the time to censor and all that kind of stuff. Right. So I firmly believe that we only saw this because they wanted us to see this. Even if the Academy had said, for the sake of us being side-eyed, we're not gonna allow this to be seen. Yeah, I think it could have been prevented. But what do I know? You know, I don't work for the Oscars. I'm just telling you things I've heard and what what I would assume. But and then the Jada aspect of it.
We gotta get Jada to stop liking all these hood men.
A little bit, just like them. She like them rough, don't she?
She like them hood.
She likes them hood, and I mean they've come to some type of agreement or understanding within their marriage. So hey, it works for them. I'm not having an open marriage.
No, absolutely not. Too many diseases out here.
Listen, outside of that, I just don't like sharing. Just period. Forget sex. When I call, I want my call answered. When I say come, I want you over here. I don't have time to be like, well, I got to go see about. No, we don't do sister wives.
Get over here.
We don't do that.
What is that word? Polygamy?
Polygamy.
That's the thing now. That's a real thing.
It's a real thing. But, you know, I could get into it, but I couldn't touch on it without spiritual aspects of it. So that's something that we'd have to dig into. But it's just one of those things where your flesh is just never satisfied. Oh. Just never satisfied.
That's what that is. We gonna get there though.
Well, so we will get into it. It's another podcast, but I just be too tired. I be having to tell Gerald, like, listen, sir, not tonight. I need a break. Jesus. I can't be having no 3 for me. The Bible say, but no, like if he didn't agree, then I'd be like, all right, here, take this. But if he's like, I understand, then I'm good. Then I'm good. But yeah. So this Will and Jada thing, I feel like Will did the right thing in the wrong place.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that.
He did the right thing in the wrong place.
I'm with you when you're right.
Yeah, he did the right thing in the wrong place. I wonder if Chris Rock is second guessing himself as to how he responded or wishing that he had responded differently.
I'm sure he thought about it.
Because, he's almost 60. Yeah. He's like 57. And he got beat up at the Oscars. Like, who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk that you were going to get beat up at? But that's what happened. And so now we just have to sit back and watch Hollywood pretend like they're going to reprimand Will Smith. And he'll eat crow for a few months and go undercover. And then I predict he's going to come back with a vengeance. And he's going to be okay. And he's going to produce a movie and allow Chris Rock the leading role so he can make millions and millions of dollars, and all will be well with the world.
Listen, somebody said they better not touch Bel Air.
I know. I love Bel Air. The only thing I don't like about Bel Air, and the only thing that makes it feel fake for me, and it could just be my upbringing, is these kids be like they Aunt Viv, and they be cussing and like, no, be like, what?
But unfortunately, that's kind of like,
that's the world we live in?
Yeah.
Wow.
In some households, kids be cussing, drinking, boyfriends be spending the night.
Here's what I found out, because we're going to do a podcast about discipline. Mm-hmm. But I think parents are exhausted with parenting. And that's why that kind of stuff happens. When you relinquish your control to somebody else, they're going to run the house. You don't know what you think about that?
I think some people look at it as they're going to do it anyway, so they might as well do it here with me. I've heard that before. Do I agree? No. But I've heard it.
I definitely don't agree.
They're going to smoke and drink anyway. They might as well do it with me. I can teach them how to do it. Show them how to do it.
Okay. Yep. That'll be another podcast. So that's our take on the Will Smith thing. Right thing, wrong time. Okay. I think he did it as much for himself as he did for Jada, if not solely for himself, because he said he felt like he was a coward, all those things. And remember, we said the real question, and I think we need to ask ourselves this as we move through life and do certain things. What would Tupac do?
You should put that as a title.
What would Tupac do?
What would Tupac do?
Because that is going to let us know whether or not Will did the right thing. Because if he knew Tupac would have smacked him and Jada knew Tupac would have smacked him, he had to smack him. Because Jada would have got him home and said, Tupac would have smacked him. That's why I love him. That's what she was
I
saying.
hate that so much.
That's why I love him. And that's why you see that letter they said Willow wrote to him when she was 11.
I did hear about that.
So talking about Tupac, I know you out there alive somewhere. Can you please come back so me and my mama could be happy?
Ooh, that's tough. Tupac ain't alive though, so we might ask what Tupac would do.
Tupac went on home to glory.
So we probably can't do what he did.
But no, we got an idea of what Tupac would do. Tupac didn't care. Yes.
Okay, maybe.
Actually, you know what? Maybe he wouldn't have hit him. But I believe he would have walked up there, which this is what I would have preferred done. I would have walked up there, told Chris Rock, come here. Told the cameras, follow me. Come here. Get over here.
Get over here.
And I'd have took him and walked him to Jada. And I'd have said, now apologize to her. Now apologize to her, right? And then after he apologized, I'd have turned him around and put my hand on his shoulder and said, now keep my wife's name
out your effing mouth.
Out your so-and-so mouth.
All right. Without the loud stuff, right?
Right.
Okay.
But we still need live mics. Mm-hmm. But I would have just been pimpish with it. Like, keep my wife's name. First, I'd have been like, say you sorry. Matter of fact, get on your knees over there. Say you sorry. When he apologized, I would have said, Jada, you okay with that? Does that work for you? Yeah. Now, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I can live with that.
That would have been so pimpish.
It would have.
Wouldn't it?
She would have liked that more, actually.
I think that's what Tupac would have done.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, you're right.
I think that's what Tupac would have done. But I think Will Smith could not afford to no longer do anything.
He didn't know what to do in that moment. He think he did the first thing that came to his mind.
The walk back was a little sexy. when he fixed his vest. His belt, I said, as corny as you are, that was a little bit sexy.
It was.
Right?
I take that. He smirked too when he walked out.
Yes, I said yes.
I think he
that was a little bit sexy.
Himself right now.
So Tam fam, we enjoyed this conversation today. Listen, make sure you comment. Let us know what you think about this whole Will Smith debacle. It was good conversation. I personally cannot wait for the Red Table Talk. We may have to revisit this podcast after that happens. I personally think they should shut up.
Don't say nothing.
I personally think they should be quiet and not say anything. But, you know, I really don't think Jada knows how at this stage. I don't think she knows how. And I think just in case nobody works with Will again, they got to get this Red Table thing really on and popping.
Get their money saved.
So, Tam fam, again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that if you want to connect with me on a different level, on a more personal level, to go join my Patreon page. That's Tammy Haddon, TAMMIHADDON. And there's all kinds of opportunities there for mentorship and one-on-ones and all of that kind of stuff. And so I would appreciate you going over there to visit that. And yeah, you got anything you want to say, Mish? What would Tupac do? All right. Love y'all, Tam fam. Talk to you later. God bless.